Jays fans, another spring training week in the books. And if you notice this right here, it's a dog scratch. Papa got a little too excited. Just wanted to pop that in there. But before we get into the video itself, first off, we're 1 week closer to the regular season getting going finally. Like, we're at the point of spring now through week 1 that we're like, okay, let's get this thing rolling here. But before we get into it, I want to ask you guys, if you want to follow up our podcast page, the link is down below, the Blue Jays Center podcast, brought to you by the Sick Podcast Network. The link will be down in the description below, guys. If you want to follow that up, that would mean the world to me, mean the world to the fellas and the crew. We're really trying to build something there. Got over 200 followers or subscribers on that page. Would really mean a lot if you want to basically subscribe to the YouTube page. If you want to follow on, iTunes, podcasts app, whatever you want to do, they're all up there for you. So follow the link down below. It would mean the world to me. Because going into this season, I'd love to have you all along for the ride here and on the podcast page with the boys. All right, let's break this down. The Blue Jays go 4-3 this week. So over a 500 week in spring training. Does it mean anything? Absolutely not. But we're here to talk about it anyways. So the first game they played was on Monday against the Detroit Tigers. And hey, 13-3 win. You saw some great things in that game, right? You saw Anthony Santander get a couple hits, drive in 3 runs, score a couple. Vladdy had a couple hits and scored a run. Andres Jimenez had a couple hits as well. I think Arjun Namal, was it that game he hit the home run? No, it wasn't that game. But Jose Barrios got the start, 2 2/3 of scoreless ball. Ryan Yarbrough, an inning and a third of scoreless ball. Jeff Hoffman struck out the side when he was out there. You got some good signs overall, good offense, 14 hits from the Jays. Hey, you'll take it. It was fun to watch if you did watch it. If not, who cares? It's spring training. Next game, the Jays lost 7-6 to the Detroit Pirates. That's an interesting team. The Pittsburgh Pirates. And what do we got from that game? That's really why we're here. Alejandro Kirk and Anthony Santander both hit homers. Santander's first as a Blue Jay, so that was good to see there. What else we see? That was when Arjun Namala went deep, hit a 2-run shot for his first as a Blue Jay this spring. So that was fun. Obviously, for Blue Jay fans, getting all horned up for him and Alan Roden because he went deep in the game again. Boy, he has had a spring and just continued where he left off last year with the Bisons. He was awesome. Not really much else. 9 hits for the Blue Jays. They lost 7-6. So pitching-wise, Gosman went an inning and 2/3. Scoreless baseball, couple strikeouts, good stuff from him. The velo was up, and that's something interesting. We saw last year, obviously he was hurt to start spring, didn't really get going, and then to start the year, the velo was down, and it was a really rough year for Gosman considering what we're so used to seeing. And then Jake Bloss, his struggles continue. Like, he was really bad in that outing. He went an inning and a third, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned. Didn't strike anybody out, walked 4, and allowed a home run. I mean, it's just not good whatsoever. So he needs some time down in the minor leagues to start this season. Where in the minor leagues? Maybe not even AAA to start. Maybe you want to just kind of, take the foot off the gas a bit, bring it back a little bit, maybe put him down in AA, and just kind of see what happens from there. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening, but he has had a really, really rough spring. The next game, they won 7-4 over the Boston Red Sox, which is always a good sign no matter what. Bo Bichette had 3 hits and scored a run, RBI as well. Good stuff. Vladdy drove in a run, and that game started great. It started exactly the way Blue Jay fans picture things happening this year for this team. Bo Bichette at the top of the shop, getting on base. Vladdy driving him in with an RBI double. That's what you want to see from those two guys, and you saw it to start that game against the Red Sox. Kirk had another hit and drove in a run. Ernie Clement had a homer. Davis Schneider had a homer. I think it was back-to-back jacks for the two guys as well. They've put some pretty good springs together. But again, spring training. So I'm not going to dwell on it too much. 11 hits for the Blue Jays in that victory. Chris Bassitt got the start. Wasn't great in that start. 2 1/3, 3 hits, a couple runs, walked 4. But again, it's spring training. You think Bassitt gives or pats asked about spring training? No, he's all about working things in, feeling his pitches out, pitching more, what he feels less comfortable with right now or what he's not feeling. He'll throw more of it, where in the regular season, you're not feeling it. You ain't using it. So that's what spring training is all about. Nick Salen went an inning, allowed a couple hits and a run. Jimmy Garcia, clean inning, couple punch-outs. Chad Green, clean inning, couple punch-outs. Mason Fluharty, clean inning, couple punch-outs. You like what you saw from those guys, and obviously Mason Fluharty, a little soft spot for me because I had some time watching him in Buffalo. But you win that one. We keep rolling along here. They lost 8-7 to the New York Yankees. I think it's when the Yankees walked them off, right? Yeah, who cares? Again, spring training stuff. But positive stuff. Will Wagner had a hit, drove in a run, scored a run. Good stuff. Orelvis had another hit. Looking in the lineup here, it was one of these days we don't see a lot of big guys. Barger went 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. So good stuff from him. 9 hits for the Blue Jays in the game. Yariel Rodriguez got the start. 3 innings, 5 hits, couple runs, struck out 4, but a lot of 2 bombs. So a couple solo shots burned him. Ryan Yarbrough, couple innings, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 4. Again, I'm just really excited to watch him again, just because of what he did last year for this team. And in the split squad game yesterday, let's do the first one where the Jays lost 5-4 to the Phils. They were down quite a bit early, then came back, and Alan Roden again, 2 for 4 with an RBI, a run scored, hit another bomb. Just continues to rake this spring. It's so fun to watch the kid play. 9 hits for the Blue Jays in that one. Bowden Francis got the start, not good. 2 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned 4 Ks and walked 3. Jimmy Garcia, clean inning. Got a strikeout, nothing more. And that's it for the main characters in that one. And then the Tigers, Jays shut them out 5-0. And offensively, Bo had a hit and drove in a run. What else we got? Nothing really crazy. Kirky had a hit and scored a run. Ernie Clement, 2 for 3. The run scored 3 RBIs. I think it was a 3-run shot that he hit. He continues to, again, have a really nice spring. And shout out Miles Straw. Went 2 for 3. He's hitting 474 in the spring. Maybe it was a good time to bring him in. All jokes. 8 hits total for the Blue Jays in the game. Score 5 runs. But the big one is Max Scherzer. Gets the start in that game. 3 1/3. 1 hit. 6 punch-outs for Mad Max. And I'm actually curious. What kind of lineup was he playing against in Detroit? Zach McKinstry, Javi Baez, Colt Keith, Josh Jung, Jake Rogers. Yeah, he's playing against more or less the starters. So that's pretty cool stuff. He dominated that time. Brendan Little came out 2/3 of an inning, punched out both. Jeff Hoffman, clean inning and a strikeout. And Eric Lauer, who was the guy they brought over as kind of a depth starter role, he went 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, and had a couple strikeouts. So good stuff from him. And then in the game today against the Tampa Bay Rays, this is one of those ones where you just don't want to look at the stats not defensively, pitching-wise. Not pretty. Will Wagner had a hit because you won 13-9, I guess, but 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Dalton Varsho, 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI, had a double off the wall. Jay Harry, who I believe was acquired last year by the Blue Jays, wasn't that like the Trevor Richards trade from Minnesota or something like that? He had a 2-run shot, so good for him for that. David Schneider drove in a run with an RBI. With a hit. Anything else jump out? Barger 2 for 3 with a couple runs scored. He's hitting 350 in the spring, so good for him. Will Robertson went deep. Palmaggiani went deep. Pitching-wise, nothing was pretty whatsoever. Barrios went 4 innings, 5 hits and 3 runs, all of which were earned, walked 2, and had only had 1 punch-out, a lot of home run. Zach Pup went an inning and a third, 3 hits and a run. That's about it. You went 4-3 in the spring, and if we're talking news-wise, the only really big news thing is Eric Swanson. And this guy just can't get a break. Like, honest to gosh. Like, you look at Eric Swanson, what he dealt with last year in the spring with his kid getting sick and all that stuff, and he was away from the spring training complex for a while. Never really got his feet going. Started the year and was basically unplayable. Got hurt, was in AAA. He was down there for most of the year. Had a decent end of the year when the time was meaningless. There's tough times. It comes to spring training, ready for a new start for him. And you look at his outings. Do I have the spring training numbers? No, I don't have his spring training stuff. Regardless. And then he hits the IL. Actually throws off a... No, that's not what we want to see. Hold on. I expect to begin the season on the injured list after he experienced right elbow discomfort. They're awaiting results of the MRI. Whenever you hear anything to do with the throwing elbow, yeah. Hoping for the best of news for him and for the Blue Jays organization this season. But we'll see. So that's about the news there. And if we're going to briefly break down this upcoming week's games for the Blue Jays, because that's all we do in spring training. Monday they play the Astros. Tuesday they have the Twins. They don't play Wednesday. Thursday they play the Orioles. Friday they got the Astros. And Saturday they have the Cardinals. And Sunday the Braves. And I'll talk to you guys after that game there. All right. So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are just jacked up, I guess, for another week being over and a week closer to opening day there on March the 27th on Thursday afternoon at Rogers Center. Hey, I'm jacked up too. Hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit subscribe button if you guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on this past week's games and the Eric Swanson situation. Let me know all your thoughts. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below as well. So follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition. Hold on. tomorrow, 10 p.m. puck drop in Utah against the Hockey Club. Raptors edition tomorrow as well, 7:30 tip-off. It's at Scotiabank Arena. Hold up. I know they play the Wizards again, but is it home? Both games at home? Yeah. Against the Wizards tomorrow night, 7:30 tip-off after yesterday's wild one at Scotiabank Arena. And as for the Blue Jays, talk to you guys next Sunday. Recapping this past week's spring training games. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, we're jacked up for March 27th. To hurry the hell up. Talk to you guys then.